Yes, yes, the Casanovians. Yes, yes, boys. Another beautiful day in Bangkok in BKK. And I wanted to take you boys on my early afternoon stroll. And I wanted to share some insights, some epiphanovas, which have helped me unlock the life that I'm now living now. And I truly believe without the one thing that I'm about to share in this live stream, I never would have unlocked this abundant dating life where I can approach on autopilot, I can get dates on demand, I can live in this constant state of romantic abundance. Abundance is not always having, it's knowing you can have. And this is a huge contrast to the life that I was experiencing 4 years ago. Yeah, in that summer of 2020, I was at rock bottom. I had no money, I had no women, I had no idea how to actually turn my life around. I was waking up every day, I was disgusted with the person that I was and the man that I'd become, commuting day in, day out to a dead-end 9-to-5 job. In the winters especially, that was soul destroying. And if you're watching this stream now and you're currently in the UK or you're in Europe and it's cold, it's raining, maybe it's snowing, you're looking out your window thinking, fuck, I really don't feel motivated to approach, I don't feel motivated to go out and train like a savage at the gym. Dude, I've been there. I actually remember when I was living in Leeds in the winter months, I would actually go outside of my apartment before I started work, and I would do 10 sets of sprints near city space apartments. If you know, you know. There's a few little side streets down there, and I would sprint like a madman during -2 degrees, and people would be looking at me as they were on their way to commute to their job thinking, the fuck's this guy doing? Is he possessed? Is he crazy? Is he unhinged? Most of those observations were probably true, but I don't know, dude, I just had this obsession with progression. I had this clear idea of the life that I wanted to be living. Being out here in Bangkok, Thailand, making these live streams for an audience, which back then I didn't have an audience. I didn't have the skill of cold approach. I did my first direct cold approach on the 4th of July 2020 in the Merrion Centre in Leeds, and I had no idea that first approach that I did, it was a catalyst for everything else. Without doing that first direct cold approach, I never would have made this channel. I never would have unlocked the life that I'm now living. I never would have started living internationally. I never would have left my 9-to-5 job, because the confidence, like the core confidence that I built through daytime cold approach, it transferred over into everything else that I did. Because of the confidence that I developed through this skill set, I had the emotional bravery to leave my 9-to-5, to springboard into the unknown, to have that optimism in the absence of certainty. And the more I've been living internationally, the more I realize that I don't believe you can live an abundant dating life if you don't have the possibility of being able to change location. I think romantic independence is directly linked to location independence. I think if you're currently not in a city that inspires you and you've got no way to actually leave that city and do what you want, when you want, with whoever you want, for as long as you want, then I think your dating life is going to be castrated. Maybe you live in a city at the moment and you do find the women attractive. If that's the case, then cool. But I think for a lot of guys who follow this content, they think just learning the skill of cold approach is going to transform their dating life. Really, if you want to take this skill set to the moon and actualize the full potential of what this skill can offer you, I do think having the ability to travel, to have financial location independence is directly linked to your ability to enjoy an abundant dating life. Now, I think when most people hear this, they get sad, they get depressed, they get angry, and they start hurling criticism at people like me, like, oh, it's easy for you to say. Yeah, it is easy for me to say, because I've worked my bollocks off to make this life possible. It doesn't happen by luck, it happens by design. Now, the beautiful thing about this is you don't need as much money as you might think to start living internationally, especially if you're a younger guy in your 20s and you don't have a lot of responsibilities like children, family, whether things start saddling you with responsibility as you get older. If you're in your 20s, like your early 20s, when I started living, like I went full time on this coaching business just over 2 years ago. So I've been doing this full time properly for 2 years. And I started living internationally at 25 years old. I'm 27 now. And you don't need to be a multi-millionaire to start living internationally. If you've downloaded my free course, it's called my Most Fuckable Man course. We've got a module inside of that course, and it's completely free, which is dedicated towards building an international lifestyle. So one of our Entourage guys, Joseph, who's been living the international lifestyle for well over a decade, he very kindly sat down with me and we had a full conversation, and we went in depth how any guy, regardless of your current situation, can start living internationally. And one of the most practical things we plucked from that conversation, and we both agreed on this, the amount of money that you realistically need to be making to start living internationally is $2,000 US recurring a month. If you can find a way to make $2,000 US recurring each month, maybe it's learning high ticket sales, maybe it's doing drop shipping, maybe like one of the guys in our Entourage, he's currently getting TEFL qualified, so teaching English as a foreign language. I think that's probably one of the easiest ways if you're a native English speaker and you want a guaranteed way to start making money from your laptop, from anywhere, and have a relatively easy job, then you can get TEFL qualified. Dude, I got TEFL qualified before I actually knew what I wanted to do in my life. Before I moved to Leeds, I got my TEFL qualification because I've got a degree in English literature. You don't need that, it's just nice to have. I then did a 120-hour TEFL certification. I actually landed a job in China. I was meant to be going out to Beijing to teach English as a foreign language, but I decided not to take that because I didn't resonate with going over. I didn't really want to live in China. But it's actually crazy because my decision to reject that offer took me to Leeds, and if I hadn't have gone to Leeds, I wouldn't have started Cold Approach. So it's crazy. It's those stick or twist moments where in hindsight, it's like, whoa, but do you know what I mean? So that's why I believe I've got this prevailing belief in divine intervention. I was never meant to go to China. I was meant to go to Leeds. I was meant to stumble across a few Cold Approach videos, then go out into Leeds, start approaching during the pandemic, build this business, create my high frequency network, the Entourage. Do you see what I'm saying? So the very fact that you're watching this video right now, when you could have been watching 1,000,001 other videos from 1,000,001 other people, I do think it's divine intervention. I often view the YouTube algorithm as God acting in disguise. If you're watching these videos, you're not a normal person. And I like that because it demonstrates to me, especially if you're watching these videos consistently, that you want more from your life. You're sick of marinating in the matrix of mediocrity. You're watching someone like me who has put in the reps to improve himself. And you're like, you know what? If this fucker can do it, I can do it as well. Like, you want the best for yourself, yeah? You want to live internationally. You want to get dates on demand. You want to explode your income. You want to be associated with like-minded individuals who push you to become all you can be. And I love that. I love the fact that you watch these streams. I do think if you take away something from this stream, it's living internationally, unlocking that international lifestyle, because what this will allow you to do is go to the places where you're valued, go to the places where you're treated best as a man. I remember one of the guys that I worked with in London at the start of this year, we call him the Iceman in the Entourage. I coached him in London, and once he'd unlocked the skill set, he was getting decent results in London, but he found London just wasn't the city for him in terms of the women, the results, the approaches. So then he started traveling across Eastern Europe, and what he found was location is everything, environment is everything. As he was traveling across Eastern Europe, and this is a guy in his early 50s as well, he didn't take long to have, in his words, a rotation of statuesque blonde bombshells. So it's like, same guy, different location, different results. So the fact that you're not currently having the dating results that you want, it might simply be a case of you're not in the right environment. Like if you find Latina girls attractive, but you're living in Scunthorpe, then you might find it difficult. So if you like Latina women, then you're probably better off positioning yourself in the environments where you're most likely to meet those women. So going to places in South America, for example. But this is why, if you live in a big city like London, one of the benefits of being in a city like London is it's multicultural. Like you can walk down the streets of London and you can be interacting with women from 21 different countries in the space of a couple of hours. So then you can use somewhere like London, because you're not going to build the international lifestyle overnight. I think a lot of guys get depressed by that. Do the best with what you have right now. So if you currently are stuck in London for the winter, or any city in Europe for that matter, go outside, interact with the world, find the women that you like, and then you can cherry pick your locations based off of the results that you're getting in London. Does that make sense? So dude, like for me, I started in Leeds. I wasn't in a location that inspired me. I really didn't enjoy living in Leeds, especially during the winters. But that's how I made it an inspired location, because I didn't want to be there. That became my fuel for getting the fuck out of there. And I think if it hadn't have been for living in that grotty apartment, working that dead-end job, having all of the issues that I had back then, I wouldn't have been able to do this at the speed that I've actually done it. Sometimes I'm like, dude, we've created this in about 2 years. Like going from dead broke, not knowing how to actually make money online, to then going full time on this business and living and creating the life that I'm living now. So I would say to you, download my free course. I'll link it in the comments once this live stream's finished. Everything you could possibly need to rewire your internal belief system to actually build an international lifestyle, it's in that course. Like we've literally got modules dedicated to it. The guys who are inside my entourage, we've got 25 active members at the moment. We could have a lot more, but I say no to most people who apply to join. That's not some bullshit marketing ploy. That's just God's honest truth, because the guys inside my entourage, these are the guys who I travel with. These are the guys who I do life with. Next year in 2025, we're going to be running Renaissance retreats all across the world. I don't want to be inviting people to these Renaissance retreats who I don't like as people. Yeah, so yeah, you might have money, but this is more than just paying to play. You actually need to be cool. You need to pass the vibe check. You need to be somebody that I actually want to get results for and spend time with, because ultimately my reputation is attached to your success. That's why we've got a tight, intimate group of absolute savages. Like we've got 6, 7, even one 8-figure entrepreneur inside the entourage. And it's not just the dating side of life that we have guys with. Yeah, sure, you'll join the entourage, you'll work with me in person, you'll get insane results, the sort of results that are documented all across this channel. If you go into the description of this video, you can see testimonials, guys who've worked with me, full interviews. Like, these are my friends, these are my people. I'm going all the way to the top and I'm taking my people with me. But it's not just the dating side of things, because we understand inside the entourage, this goes deeper than day games. If you want to live an incredible dating life, it's about excelling across the board in all areas of life. Fitness, fashion, finances, yes. Cold approach is the glue that ties it all together. If you can't approach, then it doesn't matter about the materialistic trophies you've stacked. It doesn't matter how symmetrical your face is or what your ab definition is looking like. If you can't go over and talk to that pretty girl, the analogy that I use is it's like working your bollocks off to buy a Lamborghini and then being too scared to drive it. So that's what the entourage is for. The entourage is for the guys who are sick of sleepwalking their way through life, who understand there's only so far you can push it when you're doing this on your own. Yeah, cold approach is not a solo sport. It's a team sport, and it's also an extreme sport. And it's the same for life as well. Like, if you want to hit those upper echelons of existence, you ain't going to build an army of one. Like, even Ronaldo, even Messi, they need their team. They need their coaches. So that international lifestyle, that international living, inside the entourage, we tie all of the pieces together. So we give you the skill of cold approach. We get you to that level faster than you'd ever be able to on your own. But then most importantly, we connect you with the right people. One of our guys inside the entourage worked with him in Barcelona over the summer, he took the skill that I taught him in Barcelona, and he got himself a remote sales job. So he quit his job in hospitality, a job that was destroying his soul, but he settled for it because that's what he thought he could get. And now I woke up this morning, just posted into our private WhatsApp group, he just closed his first 3 sales now that he's got his new remote sales job. So the guys in our network, the Entourage, they helped him get that job. They helped him get his CV on point. They helped him prepare properly for the interviews. And this was a guy with no prior sales experience. This was a guy who learned to sell. That dog sounds fucking angry. This was a guy who learned to sell with me on the streets of Barcelona, right? So he took the skills associated with daytime cold approach and he transferred that over to increasing his income, finding a job which actually allows him to travel the world. And this is the whole point. It's not just going out there and chatting to women. It's becoming the full package, using the skills associated with cold approach to level yourself up across the board, and then becoming that version of yourself who can compel people without even having to say a word. This is what we're doing inside the Entourage. This is not one of those weird day game Telegram groups which have got like 750 people inside, most of which you'd rather not be associated with. This is an intimate, tight-knit community. It's my inner circle, my brotherhood, the guys who I do life with, the guys who I travel with. Because I think if you can be that 0% player, the guy who has unlocked the skill set of daytime cold approach, because remember, all this is game. It's a transfer of certainty. It's learning how to get what you want. It's learning how to deliver your value to the world. Once you've unlocked this skill, and then on top of that, you found a way to make at least $2,000 US recurring a month. Now you can travel the world. Now you can go to the places that you're valued. Now you're no longer tied to one location or one type of woman. Now you can finally go after what you want. Now you can become a man of the world. You can become a true Renaissance man. You can travel, you can learn languages, you can expose yourself to new cultures. I've solo traveled to over 30 different countries right now. And I think it's very much the same as finding your people, finding your tribe, finding your women. You find your place. Yeah, you go to all these places. Maybe you go to Barcelona, you go to Brazil, you go to Bangkok. I went to all these places to find my places. So it's like I had an abundance of experiences, and then after going to all these different places, I selected my places, the places where I enjoy spending my time. It's like here in Bangkok. It's probably my favorite city on the planet. I train Muay Thai. I've got an incredible woman here. I train at the powerlifting gym. I make my videos. I just bought a new camera as well, so I'm gonna start creating more visual, aesthetic, cinematic masterpieces whilst I'm in Bangkok. And then also, I'm going to be doing a lot of traveling next year with the guys inside the Entourage. So I'm going to be making cinematic films across Europe. And dude, like that speaks to my soul, right? That speaks to my soul. Like once you've got the women's side of life handled, like once you know how to get women, you're not stressed about women again. Once you know how to make money, you're not stressed about money again. So then you can focus on what actually matters, like what actually nourishes your soul. And for me, that's creating art. Like I view myself as an artist. As a child, I was always creating, I was drawing, I was writing, I was reading, I was making little movies. I used to go around at my nana's house after school and we had this really shitty camera. I just immersed myself. Any way for me to express myself, I dived into it. And now that I've got the women's side of life handled, I've got the money side of life handled, like I know how to make money, I know how to attract women. Now I can focus my attention on what I truly enjoy, which is creating art. So yeah, over the summer, I'm going to be making videos. I'm going to start making videos here in Bangkok. I've got so many creative ideas which are just firing through the neurons in my brain. And like, I think this is what makes you compelling as a man. It's that notion of freedom. It's being able to travel, to talk to people, to extend invitations to the world. It's feeling aligned with what actually speaks to your soul. And then you become emotionally intoxicating, because now in my life, I don't need anything from anybody. Right, that's why I can turn down money. Yeah, I can turn people away from the network because money's not my goal. Money's not my passion. Money is simply a tool that allows me to fund the life that I want to live. It allows me to travel, to create my art, to not be stressed, yeah? But money itself is just a means to an end. It doesn't mean anything. It's not even real. It's purely energy, right? A lot of people, they chase it. Yeah, they're chasing money, but they don't even know what it is. They don't know what it is. They don't know how to actually use it. They struggle to acquire it, so they're constantly living in this state of perpetual scarcity. And like I say to you boys all the time, you don't have dating problems. You've got personal problems, which manifest themselves into dating problems. So your decision to stay stuck in that same city that you've always lived, your decision to stay in that 9-to-5 job, your decision to not springboard into uncertainty and book that holiday, book that trip, invest into that coaching program. It's all coming from a place of scarcity, and that scarcity spills over into your relationships. Oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm scared to leave this relationship, or I'm scared to talk to that girl, or I'm scared to leave my 9-to-5. I'm scared to have that difficult conversation because it makes me feel uncomfortable. Dude, it's all related. All of it's related. The way you decide to spend your money, the habits that you currently partake in, the way that you talk to yourself in your own mind, it's all related. All related. And I think for me, once I started traveling, solo traveling, I didn't know anybody. Like, I just touched down in a new city. I remember when I was living in Brazil at the start of last year, didn't know anybody. Everything that could have gone wrong did go wrong. I had all my bank cards cancelled, my phone got destroyed, threatened to get kicked out my Airbnb, I got viciously ill. But that's what it's about, dude. That's what it's about. It's like, you know, I might not know what I'm doing right now, but it feels fucking good. Yeah, it feels like you're alive and you're part of something which is greater than yourself. That's what I mean, boys. Like, just like going out, talking to women, like, it's so much more than all of this. It's freedom from bullshit. That's what the mantra of this channel is. That's the energy that I move with. Freedom from bullshit. And there's so much bullshit that is currently programmed into you from your parents, from the media, from the people you're spending time with. Like, oh, making money is difficult. Money's the root of all evil. Rich people are greedy. All of this programming, all this stuff that's been fed into your mind, and you wonder why you're struggling. It's because of the bullshit that's been programmed into you. And that's why I show up on these live streams. I show you literally the entire tapestry of my life from the past 4 years is available to watch on this channel. So you can go back, you can watch my early videos, you can see me living in that grotty apartment, no idea how to talk to camera. I uploaded a new video onto my channel. I don't know if you've watched it. It's called 4 Years of Cold Approach, condensed into 4 hours. And I was watching myself back, like some of those clips are about 2.5 years old. I was watching myself doing those approaches in central London. Even the way that I speak, the way that I dress, the way that I carry myself. I'm like, this isn't even the same person anymore. It's not even the same person. And I owe that to Cold Approach, to giving me that confidence to just start before I knew how. Yeah, like I look back on myself and I'm like, fucking hell, you look terrible. You don't even know how to speak properly. But I was just taking things step by step, brick by brick. So I just truly hope that you find inspiration from what I do. I hope that the inspiration that you take from me extends far beyond day game or Cold Approach. I hope it inspires you to live a better life, to stop sleepwalking your way through existence, and not to die with your music still inside of you. So go download my free course. I'll link it in the comments. And if you're interested in joining my private community, the Entourage, which is for radically ambitious action takers who understand that it's not what you know, it's who you know. And when we surround ourselves with winners, we win. Then you can apply. I'm not taking on any new clients until early 2025, but you can reserve a spot on our wait list if you want to. So yeah, boys, listen, I'll speak with you again tomorrow. I appreciate all of yous. Mwah.